Hey, what's happening everybody? This is Royce from Pedal Metal. Welcome to my channel. Tonight's video is going to be an unboxing / review video of a brand new released AutoArt 1/18 scale Audi Sport Quattro S1 Rallye Monte Carlo winner in 1986. And it's in a pretty plain looking box, but I'm really excited about this. I wanted one of these for years and years. They're really hard to find on eBay. I shouldn't say they're hard to find. They do come up sometimes. I did own a street version one, but I sold it not too long ago because it was the dark green, and I just never really, I always wanted white or red in it. The dark green was nice, and they're actually pretty rare, but I sold it for like 6 times what I paid for it, so that was a pretty good deal. You can never really lose much money on these AutoArt's. If anything, they are a pretty good investment. But that's not why we buy these cars. At least I don't. I buy them, you know, if it's something I like, I buy it. I don't buy it as an investment only. But of course, if you need the money later on, or you get bored with it and want to rotate your stock, it's kind of nice to be able to unload some of them and actually pull a profit. This one in particular, though, is a resin cast car, composite. And I don't know why, but AutoArt actually lists us as composite die cast. I've never heard of such a thing. I don't know what that composite die cast, why it's called that, but that's what they call it. I think it even says that here on the side somewhere. Yeah, composite die cast model car. And it's going to be a white glove event because, like I said, some of these cars end up going through the roof in value later on, and I have a feeling that this one's no exception. I have my Audi S1 shirt on from Blip Shift. This was a recent shirt. If you don't know Blip Shift, they offer shirts only for one day, basically 24 to 30 hours, whatever it is, 24 hours, I guess. So if you want a shirt and you like the design when they pop up, you got to get it, or otherwise they may never offer it again, unless it's a pretty popular one. Then sometimes they'll run them again through certain sales. So let's bring the camera closer here. All right, we're mounting up here. Is that the correct word, mounting up? I don't know. Gearing up, I guess you want to say. Gearing up for this bad boy here. Let's get started here. Oh, I don't have my popsicle stick out here. Let me see if I have something else maybe we could use. I usually like to use a tongue depressor to open these flaps up, because otherwise they get damaged. You just got to be careful if you're interested in trying to keep care of the box itself. This says use a #1 Phillips screwdriver to unscrew the mounting screws on the base. How to fit trunk lid, which I think it might be magnetized, fitting antenna, and sharp, what's it say? Sharp antenna, so be careful, I guess. So there's that. I assume the antenna is probably underneath it here. Let me get my knife. I want to be very careful sometimes with these, and you want to pull up. The seller I got this from, which he didn't give me any discount, so I'm not going to mention his name. He had a paper in there, which is pretty smart advice. Just make sure you pull straight up on the styrofoam. Do not wiggle side to side, because you could break something. So the antenna is probably stored there in the top of the box. Wow, this thing is freaking sick. So, and the trunk lids must be stored in there too. Let me go ahead and dismount this, and we'll get it up and out of away from the clamshell and on a turntable, and we will geek over it, or at least I will. You guys probably don't really care, but I'm gonna geek over it. So let's do that. All right, I don't know what I did with my large AutoArt turntable. I can't find it, so anyway, I'm gonna have to use my small turntable, which it just barely fits on here. But I got this out of the box, and I'll show you the underneath. They had a wrapper around that to protect it. Pretty cool though, huh? Really nicely detailed, the underside. If you're not familiar with these cars, look them up. They're pretty darn impressive. Audi was only involved in rally racing for 5 years, but in that time they were very dominant, to say the least. This motor is an inline 5-cylinder motor, 20 valves per cylinder, turbocharged, and made, I believe, like 595 horsepower, something like that. Some people say less, some people say more. Either way, it was a pretty impressive flame spitter. Here's the antenna in the bag here. There's the antenna. Maybe we can go ahead and put that on the car now. And I also like the little key thing. That's for opening the hood and doors, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's what it's for. If I could even get that open, it would be nice. All right, here it comes. I'm a little shaky right now because I had some iced tea, and I'm pretty excited about opening this up. So we'll just kind of sit that on there for now, the antenna. Oh, fits in there. Kind of loose, but that's good though. I don't want it to be too tight. Put my gloves back on. No one wants to see my crusty hands. The trunk lid was stored in the top of the box, and that is beautifully detailed as well with screens. I believe they are photo etched metal screens. Oh, look at the screens on the back. Got some fine mesh there. You can kind of see through it. Really impressive. The build quality on this is quite amazing. I know some of you guys are thinking, well, this is composite, so that right off the bat makes it a static model. It's actually not. This one, you can open the doors up, take the trunk off the back, obviously, as we saw, and you can open the hood. So we're going to do that right now. And this is the first time I'm seeing this, as you guys are seeing it. This is the very first time, and it honestly, it looks better than the photos. I was a little concerned. Some of the photos I saw, the engine detail, I was not overly impressed with. This looks pretty darn good though. From what I'm seeing already, it looks really cool. Let me bring it closer here. Look at the metal hinges alone. There's metal hinges on the rear deck here. That's a nice touch. It's very hard to film these interiors. At least I always find it difficult. So I have a flashlight out to kind of aid in being able to get a little bird's eye view in there. And hopefully I do not drop this on the floor. That would not be a good thing. Holding it with my left hand, which kind of worries me. But we have you can see Kevlar weave on the backs of the seats. Pretty cool. There's a fire extinguisher. The fire bottles behind the driver's seat. I'm digging the metal pieces I'm seeing throughout. It looks like they have actual sheet metal on the floor. I don't know if you guys can see that there. That is really cool. You might be able to see it better on this side. Right there, you can see they actually have metal on the floor, like sheet metal. Really cool. Not sure what this big device here is on the door, the side of the door there. I'm not sure what that does. These were sequential 6-speed shifters. 0 to 60 on this car is pretty crazy too. It was like 3 seconds, to give you an idea how bonkers that is. This LED flashlight's actually making it flash on the screen. See that? So maybe I won't be using that. But we have a extra speedline wheel and thrown in the back there. Mirror here looks good on the side. I'm trying to take this all in at once as I'm also reviewing it. The windows look great. Sometimes with these resin cast models, they're almost too thin and fragile. Amazing, all the computer buttons and knobs and so forth in there for navigation and monitoring of your systems. Quite crazy there. But I love the metal flooring, looks great. So let's check this. Let's check out the engine here. I know you guys want to see it as much as I want to see it as well. I love the mesh. Like you can see right through it here, the top. That's all cut through with real mesh on there. There's screen on the hood. The engine could be a little bit better. Like I said, the photos when I pre-ordered this, I was a little disappointed in the engine compartment. I think could be a little bit better, but I think for the price point, it's not bad. These Rallye lights, which I don't know if they're CBs or who made the Rallye lights originally. It doesn't have any, doesn't say anywhere, but they look really nicely detailed. There's 4 black ones on the bottom and 2 chrome ones on the top. But like I said, this was an inline 5-cylinder turbocharged 20 valves, producing nearly 600 horsepower. Some people say more, some people say less. But I believe it was a 2.1 liter, I believe is what the block is on that. These feel like these splitters on the side here, the black splitters, feel like they're etched metal. They're satin black with small painted in silver rivets. Quite impressive. It does definitely feels fragile though. Like you have got to be very, very careful handling any of these resin cast cars. We do have photo etched brake rotors. And the calipers are there. They're hard to see. They're silver. There's the rear. But it's definitely drilled metal rotors. Let's see how this back, well, I don't know if we can get in there to really see, but we have 2 fans in the back for the cooling system here and a huge radiator in the back. I don't know if this is magnetized. We're going to find out here. Oh, it is magnetized. It just went right on there. How awesome is that? I better do this over the table. My luck, I'm gonna end up dropping the thing. But we have some nice metal tow hooks. I think it was another one in the front, I think. Maybe it's the back one I'm thinking of. We got metal tipped exhaust. You can just picture the flames spitting out now and hearing it. If you've never heard these run or see any of the clips, watch them on YouTube. You will not be disappointed. It was probably the most exciting rally car was ever built, bar none in my opinion. Very, very impressive vehicle. And the street cars were no slouch either, especially for the time period. The decals look pretty decent on this. Like I said, this is the Monte Carlo winner. But after 5 years, Audi did pull out of rally racing. It's kind of sad, but we have metal screens here on the ducts on the side. The tires are not very pronounced knobby wise. You would think that they would be, being a rally car, would be, it's almost like they were burned off. Really cool. I don't know, this might be one of my favorite 1/18 scale cars now in my collection. It's right up there with some other ones that I have that, I don't know. You guys have to let me know what you think. Comment down below, but this thing is freaking awesome. Doors close very nicely. I like that. This is pretty impressive though. These splitters on the side, I believe, feel also like photo etched metal. They're satin black with silver little tiny rivets painted on there. Really impressive. I mean, it's AutoArt quality is just, I don't know, to me it's one of the best in the business in terms of their paint, fit and finish gaps. And a lot of people will complain about this maybe being resin, but you can get the gaps really fine for the body panel as opposed to die cast. It's very difficult for some of the die cast to have the tighter door gaps and hood gaps, etc. So I think that's pretty impressive, and they need to be applauded on that. Look at this. See, it has a green tint on the windshield there. It's gonna be hard to see that, but there's a green tint under the logo there. The wipers don't look too bad. These very thin planes on the sides of the rear wing, I believe that they are, can't tell if they're plastic or metal. Almost feels like metal to me. These little vents look really nicely done on the side. All the screens that you see are all photo etched metal, and they all appear to be functioning. You know, if you took a fan and blew air onto this, the air will enter and exit the actual, you know, the model vehicle itself. Pretty amazing. Now obviously this little wing window doesn't function, but you know, I wouldn't expect it to. And there is a little, I now see it. I was gonna say in the pre-order pictures there's a little prop rod here for the hood, so you can put that up, and there's even a little divot, a little recess here. You can put the hood down onto the prop rod like so. All right, so that's our video for tonight. Hope you guys liked that unboxing and review. It might have been a little longer than it needed to be, but there are a lot of details on this vehicle to look at and examine, and I probably have missed quite a few. I think for what I paid for it, I'm pretty happy with it. They are not inexpensive by any means, and these definitely, if you have children, you've got to keep them away from them because they're very fragile, and anything you touch on them, you just got to be very careful. Even as an adult, you have got to be careful around them. But anyway, if you like that type of video, be sure to give me a thumbs up, share, like, and subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're not a subscriber, please consider it. I appreciate it, and I'm hoping to hit 10,000 here within maybe 6 months. And I will be having another huge giveaway very shortly. I know I haven't had one in a while, but I'm gonna very shortly. Within the next couple videos here, I'll be announcing everything I'll be giving away. It'll be a really good one. And but if you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe. It's free, can't be free. Hit the bell for notifications. And I will see you guys next time. I haven't been able to do that in a while. That felt good. All right, that was a long one. I'll see you guys soon. Talk to you later. Bye now.